You're in the rant wormhole where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get a rant by becoming a patron. This one is for Magus the Outrageous, who wants me to rant about Vic Mignogna. Now look, I had filmed a long-ass vlog about the Vic Mignogna thing. Ultimately, I decided to throw it away. And the reason is not that I don't stand by my feelings and opinions, but just simply that this is a very serious thing going on. And I don't think that throwing opinions and like outsider information into the mix is really going to help anything. Like, this guy, what he's done may or may not be criminal. He may have committed crimes. He may be, facing consequences for that. And whether or not companies want to hire him or fire him, whatever his public perception ends up being, it really just boils down to, him and the people accusing him, what they feel and think. And, I don't want to fucking sit here and screech about my completely, not baseless, but like, my thoughts from a distance as somebody who has no more information than anybody else, but if you ask me, it seems pretty obvious that Vic Mignogna is not the best guy. I mean, I have been hearing these accusations for fucking ever. Like, I've known about Vic Mignogna since 2004, when he was in, Full Metal Alchemist. At the time, I thought I liked his performance as Edward Elric. Once I saw the Japanese version, I didn't anymore. I think his voice is extremely obnoxious and grating. I hate him in most of his roles. So, like, I can't distance myself emotionally from this because I already hate the guy. I hate him as an actor. I hate him as a person. Having listened to him speak, having, like, seen footage from his panels, I think he comes off as a smarmy piece of shit, weird religious asshole. Like, he's a weird Bible-thumping, Bible-pushing kind of guy who, lets his Christian ideologies get in the way of his work. Like, this is a man who said that Edward Elric is not really an atheist, that he is just confused. And that would be fine if that was just his interpretation, but it's speculated, Goat Jesus had a video about this once, where he speculated that they changed the dialogue around what Vic was comfortable saying, because in the original Japanese, Edward Elric literally says, "I am an atheist," and in the English version, he just kind of says it in a way that skirts around the issue. So, if that's true, that's enough reason to never hire this motherfucker again. That he is affecting the actual language used in shows that changes the meaning of the fucking shows based on what he's comfortable or not saying. Plus, again, I think he's annoying and I hate his voice. So there's all that. But then there's the fact that, like, accusations that Vic Mignogna has been a creeper have been going around for an eternity. And, like, if you look at the guy and listen to him and observe the things he's done, it is all, like, blaring warning signs. When you see a 50-year-old man in a skin-tight Affliction t-shirt hugging up on 14-year-old girls, who he then invites to his personal fan club and gives his personal phone number to them, then I think that's a lot of red flags. And there are so many stories across so many years, 15 years of accusations of this man who literally has close personal contact with underage girls in his fan club on the regular. And people are trying to say, like, oh, he's touchy-feely because he grew up that way. That's his bad. The motherfucker's in his mid-50s. He knows what is socially acceptable. He's been touring forever. Other voice actors have complained to him, have told him that the way he's behaving, have heard the stories and said, like, hey, you need to change the way you're acting, and he, like, cries and apologizes and then doesn't change. He knows there's a problem. He knows that people take umbrage with what he's doing, but he has kept up the same behavior for as long as he's been capable of it. And him offering some big apology after the fact does nothing to absolve that, So whether he's done anything that is even, like, really bad, at the very least, he's a dumb fuck who is clearly trying to get away with something that he knows he's not supposed to be doing, or at the very least that people don't want him to do, and that he's apologized for and continues doing anyways, you know? And when you listen to the types of stories that come out, like, yeah, a lot of it's fucking bullshit. There's always going to be bullshit stories and people just throwing their hat in because they want fucking attention. But, like, the number of stories and the ways that so the believability of a lot of them, let's say, I find it really hard to imagine that this dude has, I think he's, you know, in my personal opinion, based on what I've seen, it seems likely to me that he's done worse than he's being accused of by these articles. Worse than what people have evidence for by happening to have photos of him looking like he's overreaching. You know, we gotta consider that, yes, there are some women who are not okay with the interactions they ended up having with him. Let us also consider how many underage girls who are in his fan club, who are staunch defenders and huge fans of him, would not be complaining about the experience they had with him, regardless of how illegal it might be, you know? So, like, it's just, I guess it's easy for me to believe when a man makes a point to constantly be at conventions because he is treated like a celebrity and is glommed onto by young girls all the time. This is a man who's chosen that to be his life. That is what he's decided to do. You don't have to go to 25 conventions a year to be in this career, you know, and he's a really popular actor, so he's in tons of shit. But, like, what is your incentive to go to all these places? You know, obviously there's money involved. They pay him to be at these events. But, like, what is this career? Why would you choose this path as a 55-year-old man to constantly be touring around the country and getting opportunities to hug underage girls by being in a job that almost exclusively appeals to teenage girls? That's the only people who care about Vic Mignogna. So, if you ask me, it's kind of like all signs point to danger. But again, I have no evidence. I have nothing but my personal feelings. I have nothing but what seems likely to me. These could all be very, I know some people will be offended that I feel this way looking at him. And, like, I understand. I'm somebody who gets accused of being a pedophile all the fucking time. And I'm disgusted with pedophilia. You know, I'm disgusted with Vic Mignogna because I think that he is, you know, at the very least, a ephebophile. So, like, you know, I understand why there are people who want to defend him, especially from something like, oh, he looks creepy and acts creepy. Like, yeah, I look creepy and act creepy, so I get that. But from one creepy-looking and acting guy to another, that guy acts and looks way too creepy for me. But that's just my opinion, man. You can think whatever you want, because none of us are really involved.